Hello everyone and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, and today we've got 4 awesome decks for you, including the deck that I used to personally hit Infinite with a 66% win rate all through the 90s. I didn't touch it once in the 80s or before. 66% win rate in the 90s with its dearth of bots. In fact, I'm pretty sure I only saw 3 bots in the 90s, and one of them beat me for 8 frickin' cubes, so that was fun. You can find that list coming up second in this video. If you're new here, we always do 4 decks a day, sometimes 3 if we do 2 videos in a day. And with that, the second deck is always the thumbnail deck. We've got to tell you about the first deck, first kit, that you're just going to see this deck all over the place. That's fundamentally the reason that this is opening the video. KM Best shared this list created by Ika that he hit rank 1 with, and because he hit rank 1 with it, this deck is all over the place. As I was climbing to Infinite, this felt like so much of my climb, and this deck is absolutely sick. It uses the new card Mercury to really great effect. It uses Merlin to really great effect. It's a very, very powerful deck. You can find CamBest at youtube.com/CamBest in a snap. He has a video on this deck if you want some gameplay. And the creator of this list is Ika, twitch.tv/Ika_MTS. I told you Ika is the most prolific cook in the game. You play his decks fairly often, even if you don't realize it. You should definitely check him out on Twitch. This deck needs Mercury, Cannonball, Wiccan, Fenris, and Gladiator. Those are all required cards. Fenris, Gladiator are a package with Negasonic. They also work really well with Mercury and Cannonball, and the reason you get to run Cannonball in this list is because of Mercury. If you don't have a Lyth, you're sort of stuck running Enchantress. It's nowhere near as good, but it's fine. You can also try Cosmo in that spot. You basically want something, if you want to punish people with Prio, you want a Lyth. If you want to try and punish people without Prio, it's Enchantress. Kate and Merlin can be Penny and Surge. Those are significantly worse. Kate and Merlin do a really, really great job at getting you your Wiccan curve. Both of them give you extra 1s that make the Wiccan curve likely. Red Guardian here can be Rogue. Rogue is your standard Red Guardian replacement. If you feel like trying Mobius, if you're seeing a lot of like negative or something, go that way. Alright, so Quicksilver is here because you don't want to run 1s. You just want to have a 1 that you can play in order to get your Wiccan curve going. As far as 2-drops, you generally want Kate and Merlin so that you don't have to play, if you don't have a 3 on 3, they will let you play an extra 2 on turn 3. That 2 is very often going to be Fenris Wolf because you can almost always kill something from Negasonic, Gladiator, Shang-Chi, which makes Fenris a very powerful card. Mercury also turns Cannonball into an auto kill while giving you a really strong matchup into a lot of different move decks. Negasonic is a destroy card, generally speaking, especially after Wiccan. If you have Prio late, it's another Prio Punisher. It's like your mini Lyth, and it feeds your Fenris. Red Guardian solves problems. In particular, sometimes Cerebro can just put up too much power for you. This handles that noise. Gladiator destroys something. Again, really, really solid for Negasonic. Shang-Chi, his power must be controlled. If the opponent tries to go too big and goes over you, Shang handles that. Wiccan gives you enough energy for absolutely silly stuff at the end of the game. You can literally drop Mercury and Cannonball together for just like an auto lane win. Remember that Mercury says cards cannot be moved, and then Cannonball tries to move the card. Cannonball says, I destroy it if it can't be moved, and then you just destroy their highest power thing. And then, of course, Lyth is your big Prio ender. You're not always going to see the Mercury Cannonball stuff. Lyth just says, okay, I've got Prio, I've got a way to shut down this game, let's do it. Turn 1 Quicksilver, turn 2 Merlin over Kate over Fenris, which is more or less equal to Mercury. And the reason you want Merlin over Kate as a general rule is the spell that gives +2 energy. You've got Quicksilver on the board, and using that, shuffling Quicksilver in to get +2 energy is pretty solid. It gives you like a mini Wiccan in the mid game, especially around turn 4 if you don't see Wiccan. Turn 3, Gladiator is better than a 2+1. You can drop Negasonic here, but I tend to prefer to hold it. You will drop anything here to try and keep a Wiccan curve alive. Turn 4, Wiccan, and if you see a name written in white, that means it's a snap condition. So Wiccan, a snap condition. If you see Wiccan in a Wiccan deck, you should probably snap it. Over a 2+2, and the extra energy spell is really, really good here. At this point, you should have 2 spells if you had Merlin, which is pretty nice. Turn 5, you can use Cannonball or Shang to kill, especially if you got out Mercury earlier, or you can go Negasonic or Gladiator and Mercury or Fenris. I'm partial to like a Negasonic and Fenris here, leaving me the option to get that Fenris trigger. At the end of the game, then if I have the Wiccan, or if I manage to get extra energy through various means, I'm very, very happy to go Mercury and Cannonball, because that is 7 energy, which is what you would have on the last turn from Wiccan. Actually, you'd have 8, so you would even have an extra. Or you can just drop a Lyth. If you see any stuff written in green, by the way, green is very often going to be, this can be a snap condition if it does the thing. So I guess 5 and 6 can sort of be white or green. Like 5 is sort of right between, and then 6 is definitely green, if that makes sense to you. This list is incredibly strong and incredibly versatile and incredibly prominent. So even if you don't plan on playing it, you absolutely need to know about it. It is a meta deck that is very prominent right now. Before we get to the deck we're going to talk about, the main deck of the day, please hit that sub, like, and comment as we try and bring you the best Marvel Snap content. We have never missed a day on the channel since we started doing daily videos over 2 years ago, and we have at least 3 decks every day. Hit that sub, like, and comment to show some love and support to the channel that gives you the most unique and distinct Marvel Snap decks. We are also giving away a bunch of Merlins, and we're going to do that in either tomorrow or Monday's video. We've got, I think, 3 or 4 more Merlins to give away. We've given away 2 already. All you have to do is sub, like, and then later this video, I'll tell you what comment to leave. You leave it, you're entered to win Merlin. The same is true of any video. If you'd like to go back and watch some other videos this week, you have a chance to win Merlin. The winners will be chosen from the comments of those videos. Next up, we've got Fudge V2. So I found this on Untapped. It's an alteration of the list Fudge hit infinite and number one rank with. It cuts a couple cards, it runs a lower curve, and I decided to take this for a spin in the 90s, and I didn't lose or I lost only 1 cube, quick retreats when the locations didn't favor me, all the way to 99, and then I fell down to 88, and then I just climbed back up to infinite, and I got to 99.4, just winning straight again, and then I lost 8 to a bot, and then I finished my infinite climb again relatively straightforwardly. I actually lost 8 to the bot, and then I lost 2 to unhelpful Yoda. So, and then I climbed right back there straight to infinite, absolutely crushing the game in the process. Again, I think I only saw 3 or 4 bots in the 90s, and I was able to win just a ton with this list. We're going to credit Fudge. Someone else might have made these alterations, but it's Fudge's damn list. This has a 72% win rate in 42 games. That was before my stats. We'll look at my actual stats in a moment when we get to the deck itself. This deck does need Galacta, Merlin, Surge, and Kate. Gwenpool and Kahori can be Ms. or Captain Marvel, although the more I play this, the more I think Kahori might be pivotal. Kahori is absolutely amazing. This is the single best deck Kahori has ever had, as far as I'm concerned. Red Guardian can be Rogue or Juggernaut. Alright, so Spider-Ham does 2 things. One, it takes a card out of your opponent's hand, right? There's just not a lot of Mobius in the meta, and thus Spider-Ham is a really useful card. The other thing is some decks can just go over the top for you. Stuff like Negative, right? I hit a Jane Foster with this, and my opponent snapped me a couple turns later, and I just ran. I knew I couldn't beat that game, right? It told me what the game plan was going to be before they even negative. They dropped a Ravonna, and I was like, oh, this could be 3 things, and then but I know I had a Jane, so all of a sudden that Spider-Ham gives me that extra information. It does that for you. It's very useful. Zabu and Surge are incredible. Games where you see Zabu into Surge are utterly broken, because now you have 2-cost Shang-Chi, Galactic, Gwenpool, Kahori, and you just feel insanely overpowered. But either one does the job of making those cards cost 3, which is very important for turns 5 and 6. Collector gets reasonably big here, not super huge, but we're talking 7-8 power. There's also just a lot more locations that put cards in your hand than you generally think. So this is just a generally 7-8 power card that can be made bigger by various buffs. Hawkeye and Merlin are the ways to buff Collector. So Kate Bishop, Hawkeye is again a great Collector buff. It gives you some 1s, which are easy to play with various buffs. Same thing for Merlin, gives you some 1s, can give you extra energy and let you do a lot of powerful things. Since you have so many extra cards to play from Merlin and Kate, you have Bishop, who is honestly fairly often a 10 or 11 power card in this list. I did not think he would be that big, but he has worked out way better than I thought as far as this list goes. The reason I tried this when I saw it, I found this version on Untapped. The reason I decided to try it was because I saw Bishop, despite, I didn't care about the win rate, that you hit infinite every season, but I wanted to make sure that I tried, as soon as I saw Bishop, I knew I had to play it. I love Bishop. I miss Bishop. It's one of my favorite cards when I was earlier in my Marvel Snap journey. So Red Guardian is just your nice simple control card. It just answers a problem. This deck has beaten an awful lot of just various discard lists, largely thanks to Red Guardian's presence. Shang-Chi is also amazing. Power must be controlled, and thus you win tons of games. From there, we go into Galacta, who is your first power card. Galacta early is probably the single best play that this deck can have, if you can get Galacta on turn 3. But either way, just adding 3 to any card is great. She's not amplifying that buff through any means, though. She's hitting a card and it's only getting 1 buff, which is worth knowing. Gwenpool is the same basic concept as Galacta. And then Kahori gives you an unpredictable amount of power. That's absolutely amazing. This deck loves cloning vets. You just start dropping Collectors and Kahoris and cloning vets, and you put up 25 power lanes. But Gwenpool, Galacta, and Kahori are basically how you have enough power to win the game, with a little bit of a help out from Bishop, and then the control cards. Sick list. So turn 1 Zabu over Ham. Oh, I didn't write my stats. It's 66 win rate in 35 games, and I got 34 cubes with it, so I had almost exactly a 1 cube average with this. Turn 1 Zabu over Ham, turn 2 Collector equals Merlin equals Surge, and you can start to consider a snap based on locations if you have those cards, and you have, like, if you play Surge, if you don't have any fours, we'll go over the others. And now, like, if you went Zabu into Surge, you've got a snap condition potentially. Collector on certain locations can be a snap. Merlin can be a snap. Those are better than Kate. You want Galactor or Gwenpool generally on turn 3. You're fine to play Bishop. You're also fine to play a 2. I would generally go Bishop over a 2. Turn 4, you want Galactor over Gwenpool, and Gwenpool is more or less equal to Kahori, which is better than a 2+2. Turn 5, 4+1, or 3+2. And then turn 6, you can go Red Guardian or Shang. And the more I played this, the more often on the last turn of the game, I was going Kate into Kahori, because like I would hit that Kate with like a Gwenpool or Galacta, and then I would drop Kahori, and my whole board goes up. So like the let's just say the Kate ends up 6 power, right, from Galacta. So I'm playing 6 from Galacta, 6 from Kahori, that's 12, and then I'm getting an extra 6, that's like an 18 power last turn play. This deck just puts a lot of tempo power on the opponent. What you're ultimately playing is keep ahead, get ahead, keep ahead. Just like building and scaling power up slowly and consistently is the name of the game with this list. And the more I think of it, this deck might even want like a Shaw over a Bishop, where it could just be like, all right, Kahori into Shaw, Gwenpool into Shaw, Galacta into Shaw, and just go way over the top of stuff. Like this is a beauty. This list is just a beauty. I love it. I think you should try it. I think you would have a really good time with it and win a lot of games of Marvel Snap, because I know I did. Hey, you should check out a stream. I should be live tonight, something like 8 p.m. Eastern. I know I'm usually live all day Saturday, but I got the Switch too, and my son wants to spend the day playing it with me, and then we're taking him to a pool party for his swim team, and then after that, I should be live. So come hang out tonight on twitch.tv/BlueSky. Sorry I haven't been live much this week. This week has been capital I intense. So our season pass question is, are you watching the tournament tomorrow at twitch.tv/Marvel Snap? It is the Golden Gauntlet 2. I will be watching that tournament. I will, but I also have some plans. It's one of my best friend's birthdays, and we've had these plans to celebrate it forever. She had a baby that's now like 3-4 months old. Time has sort of lost meaning. 3-4 months old. So just, that will be that'll be my plan Sunday, but I'm going to watch as much as I can. And if you'd like to check out the Discord, we'll do a watch party for all of them around, stuff like that. So come hang out, watch some great Marvel Snap tournament. What's your plans for it on Sunday? Next up, we got Bynx, daken Bounce. That's right, the Bynxy is here. It's hard to say his name without that like little sound he has on his stuff. Bynx is awesome, and he came up with what I think is one of the coolest Morgan decks. We are going to do the full Morgan video at some point, where like I've got a bunch of top player thoughts on Morgan. It's been a real challenge to find more than like 3 or 4 Morgan decks. She seems to be in a bunch of weird varieties of bounce largely. She's in like that one Shuri deck from Zenade, right? The one Misery deck, and outside of that, she's just in like 18 varieties of bounce. The Aurorum and Doc Guapo versions of those are great, but we covered the Doc Guapo, and the Rum version is like 2 cards different, so it's hard to like come up with a full video for the like one deck this card has. That deck, however, is really good. So what these decks do is they do a very good job of going over the top of mid-range decks. Our goal here is to fundamentally destroy a bunch of ones and potentially daken, bring it back with Morgan, replay them, and then like if it's daken, you can then like trigger Bullseye and make him stupidly huge. Because if he starts with 7 and you have even 1 shard, he's 14, 2 shards, he's 28. Outside of that, you're just going to play all the ones and try and win that way, because you're bouncing and returning all these ones with Falcon and Beast. And Morgan, you have a really huge Collector. Collector is seriously having a moment, and this deck just kind of rocks face. You can find Bynx at twitch.tv/BynxPlays. He hasn't made a video of this yet, but he has, if you check his VODs on stream, he's played it a bunch, and it's a very, very successful deck. This deck needs Morgan, daken, and Bullseye. Sable and Nico can be Hawkeye or Maria Hill. Alright, so Hood, Sable, Rocket, and Iceman are really hard to explain individually. They are just 1-drops that are easy to destroy that give you extra power when brought back by Morgan. Cool. The Hood is the least important of these in a weird way, although he does buff Collector. If you could, you'll play a 0-power Hood to get 2 demons out with this list, but it's a little awkward. He's not as good as everything else. Sable, meanwhile, can be played twice and then get +3 energy and be played again to be totally huge. Same idea for Rocket, and then multiple Iceman triggers can often just ruin your opponent's life, making them unable to play key cards. Nico gives you sort of an extra key card. It lets you blow things up. The best thing to do with Nico, my favorite thing to do with Nico, is Nico with the double after she gets +3 power is completely insanely powerful. So there's a lot of very, very cool Nico stuff floating around in this list. Collector is here. You Falcon a bunch of cards, you get a bunch of Collector power. You Killmonger all your ones, and then you play Morgan, you get Collector value. You play daken, you get Collector value. You Beast some ones, you get Collector value. Collector is actually huge in this list. He's big in the others. He's huge in this list. And Hood, sorry, also gives you Collector value. Collector is pure value. So Falcon gets you the cards back in hand, which is really nice. Sometimes you're just like not going to see the Killmonger, but it's fine. Sometimes you play the ones, and then you play Falcon, and then you just bullseye them away, and then you can play Morgan and replay them. That all works totally fine. A bunch of plays like that. Monger is your other way to destroy all the ones. Bullseye or Monger will do the job. Daken here is just keyword big. If you bounce Daken, you can play it twice. If you destroy or discard the shard and play Morgan, you can get it back and then destroy or discard it again. Lots of really great stuff there. Beast gives you free stuff to play, and then of course Morgan gets everything back, which is kind of the point here. 62% win rate in 69 games. Turn 1, Hood or Sable Iceman. Turn 2, Collector over 1. Turn 3, Bullseye or Monger if you played ones. If you didn't play Collector, you're going to Monger 3 ones off just fine here if you've got Morgan in hand. If not, you're just going to drop Bullseye. You can also drop Daken or over ones. Turn 4, you can either do the destroy, discard, trigger, Bullseye, or play ones and Monger, or you can bounce a bunch of your cards back, especially if you played Collector. If you had Bullseye or Killmonger, you can just play Morgan. So if you played Bullseye on 3 and your hand is just full of ones, you can just Bullseye them all away and play Morgan on turn 4. Turn 5, Morgan, if you didn't earlier or replay stuff. You can also just bounce a bunch of cards just fine. Turn 6, cheap cards and win. Welcome to Bynx's Morgan list. This is a really, really powerful list. It puts up a ton of stats. I found out, I think what Morgan's place in the meta is. She's a deck that loses to big power combo decks, but does tend to outpower mid-rangey stuff. So that's not a terrible place to be, and she runs just enough frustrating cards for the opponents that she is worth messing with. Is she great? I don't think so, but we'll talk about some top players' thoughts and opinions on her tomorrow and more detail. For now, I think she's probably a skip, but she does have her holes. Hey, if you're looking to get into content creation and you would need any graphics or animation, my friend BitTwiddle, who does all the graphics and animations on this channel, has amazing rates, so please do go check him out. Next up, we've got Tucker's Infinite list. I featured this list too. I had Red Guardian over Hydra Stomper, and oh, that should be Hydra Stomper the second I talked about it. But Tucker went and ran this shit to Infinite, so he gets credit for actually doing the thing. I'm dying to fit Mercury in this, but this list is wildly good, incredibly powerful. You can find Tucker at twitch.tv/ you guessed it, Tucker, TUCCRR. He is the Pirate King, the new daddy of Marvel Snap. Go check him out. This deck needs Batrock, Sam, and Cannonball. Batrock, Sam, Cannonball, and Scream. Stomper can be Red Guardian or Mercury. Hellion can be Arrow or Shang-Chi. And with no Stomper, you cut Silk for a good move card like Mercury or Bob or Kingpin. Alright. Batrock is here. It gets a ton of power. Batrock's package is fundamentally with Sam Wilson and Kraven. You move it back and forth. Batrock gets 2 power. Sam gets 2 power. Kraven gets 2 power every turn. If you don't have the Sam, then you're going to use Silk as sort of your backup Sam. That's fundamentally how this list works. Batrock can follow Silk just like it could follow the Shield. It's just less predictable. So that's that one little package. Batrock, Sam, Kraven, Silk, and then to some extent Stomper, who gets big because you're moving something every turn. The second package is the Scream package. Scream's been here forever. She still scales at +4. The cards that make her work here are Spider-Man, Polaris, Stegron, and Cannonball. 4 targets for her is absolutely great. And all of those moves can also trigger your stuff like Kraven, make your Hydra Stomper bigger, and make your Miles Morales cause 1. Cannonball is here to win lanes at the very end of the game. Oh, sorry. Let's actually talk quickly about Polaris and Stegron. Polaris, Stegron, and Spider-Man are mainly here to trigger Scream, but they have 2 other uses. They can make your Stomper bigger / Kraven bigger, but the other thing that they do that's really, really powerful is they work as a mini clog package. If your opponent is not careful against this deck, you can use Polaris and Stegron to clog a location, at which point Cannonball will win you the game. And that's fundamentally Cannonball's use to say, I am so big in one lane, I can't be messed with, and then Cannonball basically wins another. Hellion adds 1 extra thing here. Basically, if you have Kraven out, you can play Hellion in a lane, and then you move Kraven and 2 other cards over to that lane. Your Kraven should already be 7 to 9 power. You move 2 more cards on it, and you end up a 13 power Kraven and 8 power Hellion, and then just a Polaris and a Miles or something. And that lane is fundamentally unbeatable, right? They can Shang the Kraven, but now they still have to deal with 16 power, and Shang is usually not enough for that. So it ends up working out really well. Plus, then Cannonball wins you another lane. So turn 1 Stomper, turn 2 Sam over Scream, over Kraven over Silk. Sam has too many combos, so it's usually better than Scream. Obviously, if you don't have any of Sam's combos, play Scream first. Turn 3 Polaris or a 2. Turn 4 Stegron, or you can go 2/2. And then turn 5, we're looking at Hellion, and if we've got Hellion and Kraven, now we're considering a Snap again, or Stegron and a 1, or Stomper and a 2. Turn 6 Cannonball Miles, or Stomper and Spidey and a 1. Stomper, Spidey, Miles, something along those lines. Chef's Frickin' Kiss. This one is a beast. I love Screamless, and this is one of the better ones around. Give it a go. I don't think you'll regret it in any way, shape, or form as well. This deck doesn't match up with everything in terms of power all the time, but because you can just draw awkward combos, but it wins a ton of games, and it's got a lot of really threatening snaps. Play it. This is like the heart of mid-range and Marvel Snap right now. We have a Patreon, certain tiers of support on our Patreon come with honor. Thanks. I gotta say thank you to a whole bunch of people. Thank you to Bricks to Click, our patron of the month, Abigail Houston, Mandatory Burnout, It, Regardless, LAB, Inc., I Am Frostman, Hota Navarrete, Thinking Poker, Ryan Bryan, Ryan Burke, Ryan Wood Snap. Check him out on YouTube, please. I Am Frostman with the underscores. Please check out on Twitch. Ryan Wrench, King of Questions, Kertix Lee, Koi come all the way from Japan being rude, Kazushi, quite kind and killing it in terms of rank last season, Archangel 3K, 4Ks, Black Dahlia, Perforos, the Goat Seeker, and Code, our Alliance Leader. What's up, Goatsy? Pyro and Black Dahlia as well, my dear friends, and Code, breaking that code, my former Alliance Leader. Much love. Hallowed! Only Fox. Synth, how you doing, Synth? Fat Dick, Absolute Shannon, hopefully you're doing well, Shannon. Nightmare, scary. Dirty Casual, Filthy. Mr. Kerfuffle, how you doing, Kerfuff? Cables, Traveling the World. Jinja Prime, what's up, Ginge? Philip Rakovich, who is my current Alliance Leader, it hurts. Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone. The Biz Up. Black Jeebus 23, Extras V and KPG, Rhyming Friends, Jessica Gamble, Just Mr. Slush Death, If You're Nasty, The King of Rose Bro, The Great Zoo, World Focus, Yoda, Ludacris, Clam, Colonel Forbin, Rob Silverman, David G, Wingfield Moo, Steven, Brian Kaufman, Tristan, Martin, Jason, Mr. Craig Starriott, Matt V, as our special guest, along with New Star, Corey, Corwin, John Q, and Jimmy Q, Keep Down, Stout, 8th, Sage, One Big Man, Milkman, For Fakes, No, For Reals, Cactus Jack, Not Dude Love, Cactus, Reapter, BG, Yo, Marco, our newest friend, thank you, Yo, Marco, Quid Pro Joe, how you doing, Joe? Snap Decisions Joe, check out the Snap Decisions podcast, I was on it this week. D Carlo 220, one of our wonderful, wonderful friends, check him out on Twitch. Models Not Supreme, Bickety Boom Bot, Green Goblin, Unibot B2 is a wonderful YouTube channel, check it out. Flan56, the Fuzzy Lump, Spectrumix, Hoot, Ocularis, Matt H, the only one we need, TJ Mega no frickin' flex, Nick the Geek who's been streaming almost every night, check it out. Toxie, it's Toxic Soul King, Zodrex74. Hey Zod, the King of Canada, JJ, Den Man Falcon, what's up, Den Man? Thorn Newman, hey Newman, check him, sorry, let's go back for a second. Nick's on Twitch, Toxic's on Twitch, Zodrex is on Twitch, King of Canada JJ is on Twitch and YouTube, Den Man Falcon is on YouTube. Thor Newman will be live as you watch this video, if you watch it in the morning, on Twitch and YouTube right now. Jonesy Snapped is the most underrated Marvel Snap YouTube, hilarious, great stuff. The great Two Ties, who, for the 4th of July's, our friend Lauren Whatevs, congratulations, I hope today goes swimmingly. The Pirate King Tucker, who we heard about earlier, and of course Gunny T, where the T stands for. Don't forget that big tournament tomorrow. We'll have a video hopefully previewing what is alive in the second day for ya. So I'll see you then. Enjoy the day, and I'll see you for more Snap Take. Peace.